It's wonderful to be here. You know, when Anthony Hopkins was cast as Hannibal Lecter in The Silence of the Lambs, he'd given up on Hollywood. He was performing in the revival of the show M. Butterfly in London, and then he got the right part. And I have a feeling that the lesson for me today is that if you wait long enough, you can find somebody who you can give the right part to make them an even bigger star. I'm really I'm touched to be here. I am a very proud brother. You know, that's my the first thing that I show up here with, and I'm proud in part because, you know, I'm mostly proud because there's so much community that gets made here, and I'm extremely excited about this idea of talking about conversion because I'm sensitive to the journey that this community has taken. I was here 10, 11 years ago, and there wasn't a digital health field. There was serious talk about how do we get our songs onto our pacemakers. You know, it was a very different world that was being imagined, and to see in 10 short years this happen, and to see some of the people really be part of this revolution that's still mostly still a coming, is extremely exciting to me. I'm an alumnus of USC. I went through the motion picture producing program here, and I spend a good deal of time when I'm not producing television shows or movies in being an evangelist for story, because the narratives that drive us emotionally, narratives about family, narratives about our faith, narratives about our political system, are emotional stories. And it's my firm belief that for real revolutions like the digital revolution to happen successfully, for us to look more into each other's eyes because we have the time than to look at our devices because they're so compelling, that's the challenge, to come up with stories that reinforce our humanity. And it's a bedrock for USC to work in an interdisciplinary way and involve stories often. And I think, and I know that it's a real, Leslie is a movie and television and book story freak. She loves them. And it's a bedrock of the Center for Body Computing. And I get up here often. I'm gifted. Leslie lets me get up here to yell about yell about the story and the emotion, because stories run on emotion. Creating stories, creating products also runs on emotional involvement. And my job, when I work on, people ask me what a producer does. They often say, "Oh, you're the money guy, right?" And I'm actually much more the chief collaboration officer on a show. The producer's job is not to really have a job on the set, but when people stop getting along, they call you, right, to come and show up. And making the show I'm doing now, Ray Donovan, with John Voight and Liev Schreiber, and now we've got Susan Sarandon, that's a real full contact sport in terms of collaboration. These people are really, Voight and Sarandon are both Oscar winners. People really know. Liev Schreiber's fiercely intelligent and a superb actor, and these people really know what they're doing, And when I come here, I'm with people who really know what they're doing, and who have their own performance to protect, their own product to protect. This question of how we collaborate well so that things can converge is a really urgent question. And so I thought I'd just bring a few perspectives from another kind of collaboration, that is often successful in getting different viewpoints, different stakes to converge, and talk about that a bit here, as much to help bring another viewpoint or another tone to what we're up to today, as anything else. What this really involves are soft skills, right? That so much of what doctors do and what innovators in tech do are, those are hard skill things. You have to look, and the soft skill part is the part that's all about emotions. And the job is to create emotions. And the first rule, as you're doing that work of creating stories, that hard work of innovating with with people is to, as a supervisor, is to keep people safe. You know, when we make movies and television shows, people, actors especially, but directors too with their ideas, nobody's done it before these particular words in this particular story. So you have to go out and create a place where people feel that they can take risks. You know, someone can really expose themselves emotionally, that you get to a raw place in that way. And you have to make that a safe thing for people to do. And you do that by, you know, with a lot of sense of both mutual respect and also with good walls and good rules. You know, I frequently keep directors safe by telling them they don't have the money to do what they want to do, so they can get the work done, so that we can make the thing tomorrow without the people who are putting up the money calling us and going, hey, you were over budget, why don't you cut that scene? Right? So keeping people safe is both about creating a nurturing, fostering environment and having really clear, good rules. And that's true, you know, that's true in business just like it is in the business of making stories. Filmmaking is full of problems. Any business is. We try to treat our problems like I treated my 3-year-old when she wouldn't put her sock on, Violet. It was that the sock was always too scratchy. And I wouldn't say, oh, there she goes again with the scratchy sock. Why is she acting like this? I'd think, in my better self, I'd think, oh, she's a kid. Kids complain about things like scratchy socks. Well, problems that consistently come up when you're collaborating need to be treated gently like those children. You know, it's got to be a safe space to make a mistake. And that doesn't mean that you don't hold people accountable, but it means that you're there for them when they hit the tough times, because we all hit cold streaks. You know, if you look at motion picture writers or motion picture directors, very few put together 3 good ones in a row. It's really hard, right? We're streaky in terms of the way that inspiration comes. And it's important for the people who are supervising that process to be there in the really tough times. We work hard when we make motion pictures. You know, Leslie's a hard worker, I'm a hard worker. We sometimes we get together and we work 12 or 14-hour days, and 5 days a week. And when we're on location, we'll work 6 days a week. And yet the most successful of these productions are the ones where, after working that long, people get together for a drink, where there's something convivial, like happens here, you know, when there's a break and people extend their hands to each other. Building a sense of community, which leads to great collaboration, is about having real practices that create that feeling of belonging, of being here for more than just what you're worth to the enterprise. So that's a crucial piece of it. And finally, and this is the good part, the most important part for us in making something good is to get in touch with a sense of play. You know, having a sense of making something new is about playing. I think one of the reasons that people, that sometimes politicians talk about those Hollywood people is it seems like they're having too much fun. We can also be a little preachy, but there's this sense that you have to maintain, and everybody, you know, so many people work in tech, and you get that you've got to have that sense of play. You know, you've got to have that sense of fun that happens if you're going to collaborate successfully. The improv people, that's people like Tina Fey and John Belushi, you know, they have rules so that they can help keep that sense of play alive. And their rules are mostly about saying yes. The primary rule of improv is to say yes and add information. So if you're in somebody yells out, "There's a gun," somebody else yells out, "It's Christmas," and you're supposed to put together a skit. So one actor says, "Oh, it's Christmas. I wonder what's under the tree." "Oh, look, it's a gun." And they point their finger at the other actor. And the other actor goes, "That's not a gun, that's your finger." Well, that doesn't work, right? That other actor didn't say yes. When you're creating something creatively, you don't go, "That's not a gun, that's your finger." You go, "A gun? I knew Mom always liked you more than me. She gave you the gun," right? And boom, and now you're into a scene. And when you're collaborating, it's about not blocking. It's about saying yes and then moving on to the next thing. Now, what does that have to do with what we're here for today? I think it has everything to do with it. because we're at a point where people are going to have to let go of their, people in digital health are going to have to connect with this bigger mission, which, bless everybody, right? It's about making the world healthier. Yes, it's about making money and our egos and all that stuff, but it's really about making the world a healthier place. It's about having people suffer less. And I'm just proud to be part of this early part of the day and setting our intention towards reaching out to each other and embracing the sense of play and fun and community. Thanks a bunch.